I will forever die on this hill that the people who eventually get hired for remote opportunities end up earning really good money aren't always, at least not always, right? Aren't always the most qualified folks for that role. You might be more qualified than the person who is actually earning in foreign currency at the moment. But the difference between you and the other person is that they have mastered their art and they are not afraid to be seen out there. They're not afraid to be seen trying. They're not afraid to be visible. And that is what gets you, or rather, that is what gets them hired and enjoying the good life. So you might ask yourself, why am I doing interviews at this stage? It's not like I'm looking for a job, right? The reason as to why I do that is because I want to master the art of interviewing, and because I know that this world pays really good money for mastery, especially if you've mastered a skill. That's what I'm doing. And if I'm doing that and I'm not looking for a job, you who's looking for a job should be doing that day in, day out. So if you're not practicing or sending out your applications and you're looking for a job, I really don't know what you're doing. In August, I have attended 5 or 6 interviews, right? And this is just one of this. The video that I'm showcasing today is 3 of the 6 interviews that I have attended, including the most chaotic interview that I've attended in my entire life. That might just come next week. But what I want you to do as you're watching this video is that try and get your learnings, right? How, the flow of the interview. Because if you haven't noted, is that how we interview for on-site roles is completely different from how we interview for remote opportunities. And I don't want to, give you so much scoop, but I want you to watch this video until the very end and then let me know in the comment section, what are your learnings? And if you enjoy these videos, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and give us a like, because that's how you communicate to me. And I do love some good communication and feedback. So do let me know what your takeaway from this video. And enjoy my vulnerability. At some point I was rolling my eyes. I was really frustrated with the first round of interviews. But yeah, I hope you can pick a thing or two. So enjoy.
Okay, perfect. So let's begin. So as you may know, my name is Sofia. So I'm going to be the person in charge of this part of the recruitment process. So the first 10 minutes, I'm going to ask you just 5 or 6 targeted questions just to get a feel of your background, your skills, and your experience and all of that. Mm-hmm. After that, we are going to record a video introduction. Okay, so that video is for our member to get to know you a little bit better, and also your experience and background and all of that. Okay, so I don't know if you have any questions so far, or everything is clear.
Everything is clear, Sophia.
Oh, perfect. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience of the incognito window. So just let's continue. Okay, perfect. So, okay, Lorraine. So once again, thank you so much for joining in time. So my my first question would be, well, first of all, you're applying for the recruiter job, right?
Yeah, correct.
Perfect. So, Lorraine, tell me about a time you have to fill several jobs in different time zones at once. So, how did you plan your day, and what results did you get from that?
Okay. So whilst I was working with Superside and also currently over at Beyond the Savannah, we do recruit globally. So one thing that I use are tools, so whether it's project management tools or even Time Buddy, because I do need to understand if I'm scheduling in an interview, am I being also accommodating to the candidates, right? It's all about the experience that someone gets. So yeah, I use project management tools like Asana and Trello just to make sure that I'm keeping track of my deliverables as well as time buddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for that, Lorraine. So now imagine that we need a senior backend engineer in Mexico, hired in 2 weeks. Yeah. So
Okay.
can you walk me through your outbound sourcing plan? So step by step.
Okay. The first thing that I'll have to do is to, of course, I'm assuming that at this point we already had a sit down with the hiring manager. We've got a job advert, right? If not, then we have a sit down with the hiring manager. We draft a job advert. What I'll be keen on is understanding the keywords and the culture fit, the candidate profile that the hiring manager would be looking for. After that, I will go. I think the first place I'm going to go to, if we don't have that kind of talent in our pool, would be to go to LinkedIn. And I'm also a member of other Slack channels as well. 2 weeks is such a short period of time, right? So just to manage the time crunch, I will, try different avenues. So, like I said, LinkedIn, Slack channels. I would go as far as headhunting. So, just looking at the profiles and sending them messages. If need be, you get on a call, let them know what your company is offering. Remember, at this point, if I am headhunting, it's more or less like me selling the company to them and why they should join us. Yeah, so those are some of the outbound talent pipelining that I would do. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So now, um, tell me about a time a hiring manager kept changing the job requirements. So, what did you do to keep the search on track?
Mm-hmm. That was so that was such a long time ago. But we were hiring for a very niche candidate. We're looking for a a cold room man engineer. And like I said, it's very niche. So it meant that, we had to headhunt and such a candidate profile didn't actually exist, the one that we were looking for. It can be very to say the least, disheartening when you go through the candidates you bring on board and the hiring manager changes last minute. So what I did after sending out interviews to one round of interviews, I then had a sit down with the hiring manager to understand what exactly were they looking for, right? And this happened because we didn't have a clear job description. So that's why I say it's such a long time ago. And some of the learnings that I did come up with that was to always get the job description right from the get-go. So striving to get something right the very first time. Yeah, so having a discussion with them, and of course, there's a lot of back and forth. At some point, as a talent specialist, acquisition specialist, you do have to put your foot down. They might know, like the hiring managers might be aware of, or they do know in terms of the technical skills that they're looking for in a candidate, but we also have like a knack of identifying culture fit and whether a candidate is going to be a great fit for that team and the company at large. So it's important that we do our collaboratively together. Yeah.
Okay, great, amazing. Thank you so much. So, as you may know, Lorraine, recruiting is also about, well, candidate experience, so especially a remote. So, describe the specific steps you take so every candidate feels respected, even if they are rejected.
Mm. Okay. Um, for me, the candidate experience starts from the job advert, right? Sometimes it starts from just how our website looks like and are we communicating to the right people. So on the job adverts, depending again on the company, over at BTS, we are very fun, young startup, but we also get things done. So our job adverts are going to be, light-hearted, just describing the company's culture so as to demonstrate to the potential candidate what they're coming to get into, right? So that is one, being able to demonstrate our company's culture through our job adverts. Two, being having a very clear job advert as well in terms of what are they coming to do, what are their deliverables, are there any bonuses, what is the compensation package if the company is open to that. So putting everything on the table so that by the time a candidate is applying to a particular role, they know that they actually can do this role and they want to do this role at this company, right? After that, I think it's also really important to give candidates ample time. So, like in the case where it is, we've got a time crunch, then you have to go out of your way and actually meet the candidates halfway. If time is not a factor, then, it's always prudent to give at least 2 weeks in terms of the application time for, candidates to send in their applications. And even whilst after they have sent in the applications, it's still prudent to maintain an open conversation or communication or open communication lines with the candidates. So whether someone has gotten rejected or not, it's still important to give them feedback, let them know that, at this stage, you're not able to move forward with them. And, you hope that, it's not a no forever, it's just a no, not now, right? And for the candidates to actually move forward, are shortlisted and get into the interview stage, it's really important to maintain that open communication with them. And if because you're only gonna get like one person, right? So for the others
Yeah.
who are not successful as well, you just write them emails, thanking them for their time. My thinking is at the end of the day, I want the candidates who pass through us to be our brand ambassadors. So how then do we maintain or how do we create such an environment for them? One that is warm and showcases our company's culture.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. So this is my last question, Lorraine. So tell me about a time a candidate dropped out late in the process. So what did you learn and how did you adjust your process?
Hmm. Um, that always happens when you've got like one candidate that you also want, like the vibes are in there, and you're looking forward to actually onboarding this candidate. Um, yeah. So what I really can't digress so much into what happened, but the learnings that I got from that was always have your options open, and it's always good to have like the top three, right? So before you send out a regret email to the other candidates, make sure that your candidate has actually one accepted the offer, and at some point, like if time allows, they you onboard them. So they sign the contract, you onboard them, then you send out the regret emails. Because you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you've already sent out regret emails and then you go back and be like, we now want you to, be part of us. It doesn't sit well. Yeah, so those are some of the learnings that I got. Just being taking it slow when it comes to sending out regrets. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much for those answers, Lorraine. So now, in case you get the job, how soon are you available to start working with us?
I would like to take a week off just to, decompress from my current role. So I think 7 days would be sufficient.
So 1 week notice.
One
Okay.
week notice, yes.
Okay, perfect. So and also the salary range for this role is gonna be from 1,200 to 2,000 USD per month. So what's your specific salary expectation, or that's acceptable for you?
I think that is acceptable for me. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, Lorraine, so we already finished the first part of the interview. Very, very Good. So now we are going to do the video introduction, okay?
Yeah.
So that video, this is what basically you have to say in the video. So I'm going to send you this to the chat. So just state your first name as the interview. Share a brief personal and professional background. Also highlight experiences related to this specific job. The tools that you have used, why you are the best fit, your availability, 1 week notice, and your salary expectation. Okay. So tell me maybe if you need maybe a couple of minutes just for you to think about what you are gonna say, or if you feel ready, so we can start now. So you just tell me.
Okay. How long should it be?
Oh yeah. So from 1 minute to 2 minutes, 30 seconds tops.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, and salary expectation. Sorry, you said the salary expectation is between 1,200 to 3,000?
No, 2,000.
2,000. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, we can start.
I'm sorry.
We can.
You feel ready?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So remember, if you don't feel comfortable with this first video, so we can do another one and another one and another one. Okay, so I don't have any problem with that. Okay, awesome. So let's begin. So I'm going to turn off my camera and my mic, so you're gonna hear a sound in your computer. If you don't hear anything, so also you are going to see like a little icon here on the top of the screen. So in that way, you know that you can start talking. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, perfect. Let's begin.
Awesome. Hello, my name is Lorraine, and I am an HR professional, a certified coach, and a certified mediator with over 10 years of experience, having worked both locally and globally remotely. Over my 10 years of experience, I have been privileged to have worked in different facets of HR, mainly talent acquisition, HR business partner. I've also worked as a payroll manager, etc. So I bring on board a breadth of experience, having recruited globally distributed teams. I also do have experience with talent acquisition tools, particularly ATS tools such as Lever, Bamboo HR, Personio, and Greenhouse. I'm also quite versed with HRS systems such as Bamboo HR as well, and ASAP. I particularly love talent acquisition and talent management because I do believe that it takes a particular kind of person to actually identify good talent, and I am a sucker for developing talent, making sure that every single person achieves their full potential. Recruitment is already a really expensive affair for any company, so being able to identify great talent and nurture them for them to be able to stay at the company and the company to achieve its ROI, it's one of my key skills. In terms of my salary expectation, compensation would be $2,000 per month, and I do look forward to engaging further with you.
Okay, perfect. So how did you feel with this first video? So the video was like 1 minute and 30 seconds, so the time was perfect. But did you mention the tools that you have used?
I did the ATSs that I mentioned. Yes. I think what I didn't mention is my availability, and that's the only bit I didn't mention.
If you want, we can do it again. Do you want to do it again?
No.
No?
I'm gonna mess it up, and then be like, again. No.
Okay. So, but I think it was perfect. Okay. So the first video. Okay, Lorraine. So that would be all for today. So hopefully you are gonna get a feedback from us probably the next week, because today is Friday. So the next week or maybe the next one. Okay, just for you to know. That's also depending on how the manager is processing these requests. So keep that in mind as well. If you have any questions, any doubts, so also you can send an email to Joyce, that I guess she was the one that sent you the invite for this meeting, I guess. Or also you can send an email to me. So, okay, I don't have any problem to look for the information that you need. So I don't know, Lorraine, if you have any questions so far or everything is clear.
No, everything is really clear. Thank you so much, and thank you for being patient with me while you're trying to figure out what
It's
code we
okay.
should be doing.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, Lauren. So, okay, perfect. Thank you. Have a great day. Okay, bye bye.
Okay, cool.
Enjoy your
Bye.
week.
Hi, Benny.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Great.
Awesome.
Great.
Excited to be here today.
Yeah, me too.
Where are you calling in from?
Kenya, Nairobi.
Nice. Nairobi.
Yeah, it's been really cold lately in Nairobi. Yeah.
So, give me an idea of what cold is you. Like, what's the temperature?
Oh, I would say 14, 15 degrees, but that is still super cold for us. Especially during this time of the year. Right now, we would be getting into summer. So our winters usually June all the way to July. Those are like our really coldest months. Now we're supposed to be getting into summer, but oh no, I don't know. Global warming, it's so cold.
Yes, that's certainly chill and Celsius. My calculator is like under 58 degrees Fahrenheit. That's cold.
It is. It is cold. Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting ready to go into that weather. I mean, we're August, so it's still hot here in Chicago, but in a couple months, we'll be in the 50s or 14, 13 degrees Celsius. Yeah, we're getting ready to go there. Well, I'm glad that you joined us today.
Yeah.
Super excited to meet with you. I'll tell you a little bit about Jay Blanton, the organization, a little bit about this role, and then what our expectations are. And then if you could just give us, a little bit of your background, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay.
And then Juliana and I have some questions for you. We'll leave time at the end for you to ask questions, of course. And we usually try to keep these 30 minutes. There likely will be a second interview round in this process. So we're kind of like the initial interview, and then we open it up to the broader team.
Okay.
Does that sound perfect? And that will be scheduled for another date, hopefully quickly. Okay, so just to tell you a little bit about Jay Blanton, we are a Chicago-based, Chicago and suburbs plumbing company. We've been around over 30 years. We were acquired a little over 2 years ago by our current owner. And we've been in a crazy growth pattern, which is awesome. But in that much time, we've grown the business from $6 million to like a run rate of $24 million. So yeah, almost 4x this in a few years, which is really great. Our goal in the next year per year, and if all the stars align, we could be at $1 billion within 20. So can I tell you that we have our plan built out for $1 billion? We don't, right? But what I can tell you is we've done really kind of get us, and we're not stopping anytime soon. With growth in the organization, that obviously means that's growth within the organization and our team. So it's kind of twofold. One, we're expanding our recruitment team so that we can make sure that we are putting the attention that we need toward recruitment. Currently, we have 2 outbound recruiters. One is a new member of the team. One's been with us since the start of recruiting. And we also have, which I refer to her as a project manager. We have another person on the team that, helps maintain the candidate data. She's communicates with the team. Like, she does a lot of things to make sure that the outbound recruiter is prepared, and he does his own stuff too. So it's a little bit of a hodgepodge, but there's like a support to the team. But I don't even know how to say it. I don't take the process, and then it's able to get handed off to the other parts of the team. So with the growth, obviously we have to hire locally, which means that there's more roles that we have posted, more positions within that role, right? There might be multiples that we're trying to hire 5, 6, 7 plumbers, right, within one role. So multiples within that role. And so in order to be able to keep up with that demand, we need more recruiters. This role is very much outbound focused, calling candidates, sending up interviews, working with the hiring managers and the team here for the feedback that's necessary, acquiring information that we need for the job posting, asking them the questions that we might need to use or the questions that you would need to ask in terms of screening for particular roles. And up until this point, it's been one outbound recruiter for a long time. Then it's been an outbound recruiter with or maybe an outreach recruiter. I shouldn't say outbound, like outreach recruiter. Then it was recruiter with the support of that project manager, like I was talking about. And we just hired a new recruiter and we want to hire one more. And then what we would do is we will separate the roles that we're hiring for by each recruiter. So you'd each be responsible for a certain number of roles, and then you can get even more ingrained with the hiring manager. If something's not working or you're not getting candidates, like valid candidates, then you can talk about like strategy to change that and what we need to do, right? That's a little bit about who we are and why we're hiring for the team and what we're looking to do. I will say just a couple things. One, we are getting ready to launch a new applicant tracking system. So right now we have like an in-house hodgepodge applicant tracking system, and we know that we need a much more robust system for us to do our jobs appropriately. It could take 4 to 8 weeks for it to be fully implemented, but we will expect that we would lean on this team too as we're implementing it to make sure that we set up things the way we want to. So it's good to come into the organization because it's before we're putting ATS, but it's also like a little bit of a crazy time because we're like figuring it out as we go along. That will turn on its head 7 times a day, right? Very fast paced. We believe speed is a competitive advantage. We also pivot. If something's working, we lean into it. If it's not working, we're quick to figure out what is working, right?
Yeah.
Times that I'm like, give it just a little bit more time. Let's see if this works. Let's give it a little bit more time. And the owner is like, nope, let's cut it and move on. And then we cut it and move on, right? So there might be times you want to fight for something, but then sometimes it's not worth it. Let's pivot. Let's move on and let's face what's happening. So there is a lot of fast paced. I can tell you something this morning and then by this afternoon say, hey, we had another discussion. That's not the direction we want to go in. So just know that change is inevitable and it's part of the fun here at J. Blanton.
Yeah.
I had one other thing to say. So I came into the organization a little over 2 years ago. When I came into the organization, I was the first marketing hire, like somebody that was completely 100% focused on marketing. And in the little over 2 years that I've been here, we've built digital marketing. We have traditional marketing. We have digital marketing that is a part of this team. Social analytics, right? We both, and then call center. And Liana is our call center manager. I also have recruit and begged Juliana to help me with recruiting. I didn't have to beg. She was excited about that. So Liana basically helps. She leads this team for me, and there's a lot of stuff she does independently, and then there's things that we work on together with the team as well. So I may not be in every meeting, but I certainly pop in and see everybody. And Juliana obviously manages our call center team and the recruitment team. So her time is split between the two, and she does a good job at managing both of those priorities. So that's a little bit about us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Okay, cool. Where do I start? I guess let me start from the beginning, right? So I've got over 10 years of experience, and during that time, in HR that is, during that time I have worked for local companies in Kenya and also remotely. I've got about 4 years of experience doing remote work. Do let me know, by the way, if my internet is glitchy, because, yeah.
Yes.
Cool. So I worked 6 years for a manufacturing company, and we were manufacturing roofing sheets. So that meant that we also had a lot of casuals to recruit. And for the better part of my time, I was doing talent management. So end-to-end recruitment, and I used to manage recruitment for the casuals as well as our individual contributors, all the way to the business head level, right? So that gave me a really good base in terms of understanding what is the talent journey that we want, the talent to actually experience, how are we positioning ourselves as a company for applicants to actually want to work for us, right? I also that was my experience locally. And then shortly after, I moved to my very first remote company, which is a design tech company. And over there, I was also an HRBP as well as their DI specialist. So in my capacity as an HRBP, we used to manage talent end to end. So whether I had a particular department of 230 employees that I would look after, that would mean workforce planning, recruitment, managing the performance and all that, but heavily again on recruitment, because again, it's a remote company. We want to work on our branding and employer branding and make sure that, when someone sees our job advert, they're like, yay, I want to work for, right? Worked with them for about 2.5 to 3 years, where I then joined Beyond the Savannah, which is again another remote startup. And what we do at Beyond the Savannah, we are a job search as a service company. So that means, yes, we've got people coming in looking for remote opportunities on our jobs board, but at the same time, we also have employers, so companies who are seeking to employ people. So we do the job match as well. And sometimes a company is going to come with a very niche role that we do have to go and headhunt for. So we use a lot of LinkedIn recruiters. LinkedIn Recruiter as a platform, and then we are also in different Slack channels, and we also do like career fairs to just work on our pipeline, right? Because we also want to have a certain caliber of candidates, so that you're able to screen and readily position them when opportunities do come across. So yeah, I would say I really enjoy talent management, like end to end, because I find that when you're able to place the right candidate to the right role, then they're able to grow and achieve their potential, which to me is like I'm contributing to a greater purpose. So I'm really passionate about HR and recruitment in general. Yeah. So that is me.
Nice. Awesome. I like all that experience. Quick question. When you do your recruiting and you could have varied experience, are you doing direct hire company? Are you hiring like temp to perm? Are you hiring temporary employees? Do you have experience in like direct hires to company?
Yes, I do. So remember when I worked locally and also with, I think all across, right? Yes, we do hire directly. I think the most, in terms of direct hire, would be at my local company. And where we used to hire them, and then we would manage the payroll. So there's that as well, and that was from payroll all the way to managerial positions. Yeah.
Okay, great. So for us, it's all direct hires, right? We work with Sagan, which is, I believe, how we got the pleasure of meeting you as well.
Yes.
But Sagan really handles a lot of our global talent, and we almost manage that internally ourselves. We actually don't put that on the recruitment team today. I don't know if we might not have in the future now that we're boosting up this team. But for right now, I might post a job. Juliana might post a job. We work directly with the Sagan recruiters, and then we schedule meetings. We do everything ourselves. But roles that you would be recruiting for direct to the company.
Yeah.
So tell me this: how do you manage competing priorities?
I use tools. So I use project management tools like Asana to just first prioritize my tasks, and then two, to because sometimes you do forget, like even when you have like a to-do list, right? Sometimes it just slips your mind. So also to not time track, but to track where I'm at a particular, when I'm managing a particular project. Then the beauty with project management tools that you can assign someone a role, so you know where it is kind of lacking behind or where you're kind of stuck at, right? Yeah, so I do that, but then before I even put stuff on Asana, I think what I do is to identify what the caliber of role per se, right? So is it like high urgency? What is the impact if I do miss a deadline, what is the impact of that? How many people are dependent on me to complete this? How many people do I need to work with to complete the project? So hence, that's why I said number one is to use project management tools, which I absolutely love, and they're a time saver.
Nice. Because one thing that we usually have is everything is a priority.
Mm-hmm.
And I give boss a hard time. I'm like, you can't give me 12 number one priorities, because what do I focus on first? And in some instances, right, when you look at competing priorities, you can only put so much time into each. So at some point, I would have to go to my manager, which I like that you use project management tool. But at some point, I'd have to go to my manager and say, I could focus on two of these things, these two things, and have them both on this week, or I could work on all 12. And so, like, what ratio do you want? Do you want me to move a little bit of everything, or do you want me to do this? And it's like, oh no, focus on those two. It's like, yeah, good idea, right?
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, the owner Isaac is very involved in what we do on a daily basis. Every department touches everything: call center, recruitment, marketing, right? So he might slack at 8 o'clock in the morning, make this your number one priority, and by 2 o'clock, his next number one priority is another role, and his next number one priority at 3:30 is another role, and his next number one priority at 6 p.m. is another role, right?
Yeah.
But I think we're going to be able to do, and this is kind of the vision that I have for the team, is right now it's very hard to give updates in general, right? Especially when you have 12 roles and you're moving each one a little bit. Or it might be like, hey, we focused on these 4 roles today, and Isaac's immediate response is, why didn't they do the other 8? And it's like, well, how much can they do in one day, right? So that's what's help with multiple recruiters is we will be able to provide a much more robust update on where we're at on those roles. So right now, I think we have 12 roles posted, 12 or 13. Essentially, if we have 3 recruiters, that allows each of you 4 roles that you can really focus in on. There should be a very, very, I shouldn't say easy, but I'm going to say it, easy way to provide a robust update on a daily basis of how we've moved those, right? And you have 4 versus 12, you should be able to dive into those 4 every day. Whether it's like, I sourced this role this day, I contacted this many people this day for this role, I booked this many interviews, right? Met with the hiring manager, things like that. So I think what we lack sometimes is that update, because we know that and I've had this conversation with multiple teams, Lorraine, so it's not just teams. We know that the teams are out there doing a lot of great work, don't get right, and then it always feels like. So I think that, sorry, I'm doing all of this to say all of your roles are probably going to have the same priority level, right? It's just being able to prioritize the way you see fit, provide us that update, and if we want to rearrange something, we'll let you know.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. And with working with startups, we basically talk all the time about, like, we function like a startup, which is when I say we pivot, we lean in, we let it go, we move on, right? That's very similar. What question do you have?
Me or Juliana?
No, Juliana.
Oh,
I was waiting for Juliana.
Sorry, I was reading a message from the call center. I'm hearing you guys. Well, I heard that you're used to have kind of an idea of your day to provide. How do you feel yourself about pivoting, like, all the day, like having a lot of changes? Do you feel comfortable with that? Because as Cynthia mentioned, we're very fast paced. And I want to understand if the previous experience that you have in talent acquisition is kind of the same as we have here. Because to be honest, um, it's an ultra fast pace.
Yeah.
It's not as many people is used to. It's kind of different, but I want to understand if that background that you have,
Mhm.
it's also something that could help you fit without any issue within the organization.
Yeah. So throughout the 10 years of my experience, the first six were for like a really well established company. So I wouldn't say that I was a startup, but my most recent experiences have been in startups. And like Cynthia said, like the only thing that is constant in a startup environment is change. So you first need to, I think over at Superside and BTS, we'd have the motto that, you have to do it fast. You have to do it correct the first time. And whenever something comes that, needs you to adjust, then you have to do it as well, right? So speed works in your favor. And it feels like you're going to be working for like three companies within a month, and that is fine. I'm comfortable in such an environment. Case in point, because is also a global company, you would find that sometimes you're hiring for project managers, and this time you're hiring for the job advert came out like you're hiring for EMEA, but then 2 weeks down the line we look at our workforce, and then we decide, what, we want to hire for LATAM and the Americas, and now you have to change your whole strategy and still fit the time to hire rate. So I'm quite used to a very fast-paced environment. I don't think I'm going to need a lot of adjustment to it. Maybe what I'll just need is to better understand what does it take to hire plumbers, right? What are some of the qualifications that we look at, and that can be handled during onboarding. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also something that's very different. You'll need to learn a bit about plumbing because it is required, like for doing questions and for understanding if they are. Sometimes they have a background that can fit within one position, but we have the one that we have posted is for all the position,
Mhm.
and we can also present those candidates for some other role that is needed in the future, or maybe we can use that people for backup if needed in the future. So yes.
Yeah.
Are you used to build your own pipeline or something like that?
Yeah, so in both over at Superside and BTS at the moment, we do have to build our own pipeline. And some of the ways in which we do that is, like I said, attending career fairs, and just, putting the word out there, having, I don't want to say dummy roles, but let's say you've got like one particular role, right? And if you have it, I know you're in Chicago, right? So you have it in Chicago, a particular area. Sometimes you have to do like a dummy role so that you get the people that you actually need within a specific area, while at the same time getting more CVs coming in, right? And just that's how you build your pipeline. So that is one. So yeah, career fairs. And then what we also do at BTS is that, what do we do? Sorry, I'm blanking. Yeah. So what we also do is that we do direct recruitment, or what is it called? Headhunting, right? So either going through LinkedIn, sometimes, which I don't know how ethical it is, but we would, if let's say a company came with a request, we would then have a look at their competitors and see which person fits, the candidate profile, and we try and have a conversation with them if they're willing to move or if they're looking for something else, right? So it's just
We
like
do it all the time,
you do that all the time.
We do it
Okay, cool.
All the time.
I was starting to feel bad.
Yeah, we're so
But yeah.
used to that because in this industry it's very difficult to have a lot of people with experience. They're mostly concentrated into 3 to 5, 4 companies. So you need to steal them. That's the reality.
Uh-huh.
other things, but the truth of the matter is the plumbers, the technicians, the excavators that we want are good. And if we want good candidates,
Yeah.
I'm not a firm believer that if somebody's not working, that they're not a great candidate. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But those are harder to come by because they're getting recruited all the time by these companies. And just in general, in the United States, the trades haven't been as popular for people to pursue a career. So there's less people coming into the market too. So if you're going to get somebody, and then we have like sweet spots, like we don't want somebody with only 6 months experience, but we might not want somebody with over 10 years experience because you still have to have, you want somebody to come in with their own mind, but you still have to have them open to the way of us doing things because part of our growth is because we do things differently. Right?
Yeah.
I'll give you a quick example. We are on, why can I think? Flat rate pricing.
Okay.
So regardless if the job takes us an hour or the job takes us 3 hours, costs you the same money. There's no hidden agendas. There's no, we give you a quote and 2 days later when we're there to install, we change the price because it was tougher than we thought it was going to be. So what we look at, let's just say replacing a toilet. We look at replacing a toilet and we say it could take anywhere from 1 hour to 3 hours to price the toilet. So the flat rate price is like an hour and 45 minutes or 2 hours. So we charge you for the 2 hours of work, like that's your flat rate price. That's what you're going to get. So customers that were there 15, 30 minutes to replace the toilet are mad about this. People that were there 3 hours for it are like, man, we got a deal. Right?
Yeah.
And for us to believe that the more time spent, there's higher value. Right.
Yeah.
So not a lot of installers are used to flat rate pricing, and they're like, man, I was on that job for 4 hours and I only got X because we pay based on the flat rate commission on the flat rate pricing.
Okay.
And they're like, yeah, but it was it. Well, and then our response is, well, if you worked a little more efficiently, you could have gotten it done in an hour. And so we do work a little bit differently, but the opposite side of that is that our installers really can make a lot more money than the other competitors because of how we have our pay schedule. There's no limit. There's absolutely, you want to work 12 hours? We'll find 12 hours worth of jobs for you to do. You want to work 6 hours and complain about not getting enough commission? Well, not our problem. You only work 6 hours, right? Like, and we treat our technicians and our plumbers well. So that's not it. Culture is good. But it's not very easy to recruit in this market because the people that we want are already in other jobs with our competitors.
I can imagine. Yeah. And then I think also therefore, another strategy that I would use would be like referrals, because if I'm a good plumber, chances are that I know 2 or 3 other good plumbers, right? So all I need to be incentivized so that I can speak about, my company to my friends. And then word of mouth is just like really, really great. So yeah, I think those, yeah.
So we just started recruitment events. We did one last month and we're doing one this month, and we lean on the recruitment team to get candidates to attend because we think a way for them to get to know us. The first one was kind of like drinks and appetizers at a bar. This one we're doing at a golf course, like a driving range. We're having a couple of competitions. We have 8 or 9 people that are ready, are attending, agreed to attend. Our owner will be there. I might be there, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. Our controller will be there. Our field service manager will be there. And it gives these plumbers, potential candidates, right, an opportunity to meet us, sit, talk to us, and then do some things. So we talk about referrals and that too. Bring a friend, bring your crew. Like, we'll talk to all of you guys, right? We don't mind because we want to let you know how cool and different we are. Okay, I want to leave some time for you to ask questions too. What would you like to ask us?
Okay. What is the challenge that you're facing aside from it being like a tough market because more demand than supply? What is the challenge that you're facing, and what is the retention rate for the plumbers that you currently have?
I think as a team, Our challenge is how many roles we're recruiting for, and not being able to put time to it, appropriate time, and not only like appropriate time to recruiting for those roles, but also to like take a step back, understand what we're doing, what's working, what's not working. A lot of stuff is like on the fly and changing really quickly, when it's like sometimes we just don't give ourselves that time to step back. So I think that's a challenge in general. I do think that as a company as a whole, when we're recruiting for roles outside a plumbing technician, they may not really know who J. Blanton is. We're doing a lot of work so that people do know who we are. So it's kind of like a plumbing company. Why would I want to work for a plumbing company? So with me, I came with a bunch of years, I'm just not going to tell you my age, but I came with a bunch of years of experience of working in corporate positions. I own my own business for a short period of time, went back to corporate, and I was looking for something like this that's like homegrown, opportunity to use my skill set to grow. Not everybody has that if they don't have the experience, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit people know who we are. And even plumbers, you know, if they had a bad taste in their mouth from the previous owners, if they're like, oh, they say it's one single owner, but I bet you it's a private equity company and they're going to sell them. That is not what Isaac is looking to do. He's a sole proprietor. He wants to build this business, right? He wasn't foolish in his decision making when he made a decision to buy J. Blanton. So I think that's a struggle. People either not knowing us enough, or if the little that they do know might not always be correct. Okay. Would you agree, Juliana?
Yes, and adding to that is that we had the limitation in the past that we only had one recruiter that was contacting people. So having 12 positions, just one recruiter, is very hard to identify what is the position with the most like needed, or because they're competing priorities, like all 12. They can say today, hey, we need people for all those 12. And I'm on the side of the call center, so I do understand that we have a lot of volume of appointments that we need to go. We need to visit those families. We need to go to those places. So I kind of have like a different view of the recruiting side, because I do understand why we're having so many messages saying, hey, this is a priority, we need someone as soon as possible, because I'm seeing it on the other side that we have a lot of appointments for that specific kind of jobs or for those skills. So yes, I will say that right now, like, we are trying to have like a bigger team because of that. Because right now that's kind of one of the bottlenecks that we have.
Yeah. And you did touch on retention rate too, so I want to respond to that. We've got plumbers with us long before Isaac owned the company. Plumbers that have been with us 10, 15 years. Maybe there's one that's here 20. And I would say for the most part, our retention rate is good, but we also have these like moments, and I don't even know how to say it. I think like in the last 2 weeks, we've lost 4 plumbers. Right?
Yeah.
And typically when that happens, Lorraine, this is what I always think, and I never want to say that we couldn't ever do anything wrong to keep them, but if they're newer, then it's like, you know what, they were already getting recruited by other companies too, and they're like, oh, let me go try this place, because there have been people who came back and said, oh, do you guys still have a place for me? Oh, I'm looking for my next thing. And it's like, you left us 6 months ago. The grass isn't always green on the other side. So sometimes we'll see these spurts where you'll see multiple guys, mostly newer ones, that'll drop off. So they either don't like our philosophy, they don't fit within the culture, or they're actively being recruited to the grass on the other side. And then we did recently lose a maintenance tech that's been with us for at least 2, if not 3 years. And for me, I think it was he wanted to do something different, right? Yeah. So our retention rate is pretty good. I would say.
Yeah.
Right?
Like the company, the culture, everything that we're trying to build, the way that they're treated, I think it's very important. It's part of the culture, but it's something that we should highlight because it's one of the reasons why people quit. People quit because they're not being well treated, or well supported, or things like that. And it's not our case. I'm very proud of it. That's why I wanted to say it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, this was a family owned business for 30 years. And although nobody here is family, we're all family. Right. We make the tough decisions when we need to make the tough decisions. I'm going to say that we don't, but that's why they're tough decisions. Right. There's some easy decisions that we made, but the majority of our decisions are tough. We build, even with our global team, I would say we build pretty close bonds.
That's nice. That's nice to hear. Yeah.
Yeah. Any else?
No, I guess I just want to mention, because I know you talked about you are currently implementing an ATS system, yeah? So I've also been involved in that, both at my local company, and so I'm really excited about that. If I was to join in, I would definitely be hands-on, and yeah, it's always like a really good time to join and to make an impact. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah. What system worked on?
So we worked on Lever. We're moving from Pinpoint to Lever, and then at my local manufacturing company, we were implementing Sage HRIS.
Okay. So we are, I don't know if you talk about it, but we're maybe a couple of days away from signing a contract with Workable.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, what's really cool about their system, never even heard of them before. Juliana found them. We love our sales rep. We don't know about our implementation rep yet because we haven't met them yet. But if Molly, our sales rep, is any indication, that I think we're going to be in really good hands. But you can access all of the job boards directly from the ATS. So Indeed, right, LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, Monster, Google Jobs, things like that. We can manage our LinkedIn and Indeed accounts directly from Workable. We post jobs, and we have job options automatically fill in candidates for us. So it'll sort keywords and stuff that we do.
Yeah.
So I feel it's going to be hunting for the right people, but a lot less like in systems hunting, because it's going to just put stuff in your queue, right? And then even if all that doesn't work, you have access to like 12 different job boards or 15 different job boards. I can't remember that you just put in what you're looking for and it'll come through, right? You put a few keywords, plumber in Chicago, right? Or Chicago. So I think it's really good. It also allows us to message, both email and texting. It automatically updates. We do all of our communication, Lorraine, is Slack. I mean, there's a little bit of email. Yeah, we Slack all day long. So a lot of like the recruitment updates, interview updates, and stuff like that go through Slack. The cool part is that Workable actually integrates with each one of the interviews through Workable. If the interview is scheduled for tomorrow, send that hiring manager a message through Slack that their interview is tomorrow. You can send it a day of reminder, right? And after interview, it can send them a message. Yeah. So there's a lot of it's going to be a bad word for it, but there's a lot of tedious work in recruitment, right? A lot of looking through resumes, a lot of searching, a lot of messaging. So if some of that can be handled for us, man, right?
But have a bigger capacity to now, focus on the 12 jobs that are hiring for, or even more. So yeah.
Yes, exactly. So we're trying to make it a little bit easier, pull some of those like tedious tasks off so that you can focus on the real stuff, which is finding the right candidates, right? So very excited about that. Okay, so here's what, one, are you interested in the...
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've been here 39 minutes. So yeah, another good indication that I'm really interested in the role. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I do talk a little much. Juliana knows I do this in every meeting. Okay, so for us, next step would be setting up an interview for that additional panel. Juliana and I will attend. We'll kick it off, say hello, and then we would let the other people in the panel take over. Who we had in our like is Jonathan, our recruiter, Isaac, the owner. It just gives us an opportunity to get different opinions from different parts of the organization about the recruiters. I would like to move you to the next level of interview. I'm guessing by the slight shake and smile on Juliana's face, she would agree. I didn't flag her and ask, I just went ahead with it, right? So give us a day or two, could be 30 minutes, I'm sure all the time. Let us find out when those three are available, right? And my guess is either tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday, we can get you on the calendar for another 8 to 45 minutes. Maybe we'll put it on for 45 this time so that we have a little bit of time for their questions. And then, Juliana, would you mind just communicating with Lorraine the times that we'll have available? Really, it's looking around Isaac's calendar. Isaac's probably the toughest. Because I'll move whatever, right? I'll be like, oh, Juliana, we were supposed to meet now. Nope, we're not going to meet. We're going to meet with Lorraine again. So usually it's just making sure that Isaac's available, but I'd love to bring you back for a second interview to meet with the extended team.
Yay, I'm super excited for that. Yeah.
Awesome. Now I do have one question that's in the gun bit, but if we were to extend an offer to you, how soon can you start? Do you give a 1 week, 2 week resignation? What would you typically do?
I'd have 1 week resignation just because I've got to hand over. Then I would like maybe 2 or 3 days to decompress before I join a new company so that, my brain, I'm aligned with what I'm joining. Yeah. And perhaps do a little bit more research on plumbing. I did do a little bit of research. So yeah, just do more in depth. Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you for your honesty, but we'll just say 2 weeks resignation.
Oh, great. Awesome. Thanks.
So that would obviously come with if we decide to move forward with an offer, but at that time you could just let us know what you're comfortable with the start date. But I wanted to be able to have that information so I can share it with the team, right? Because I've actually had somebody ask for a 1 month resignation, 1 month time, probably because they were doing something very similar, time to decompress and things like that. And we had to determine whether or not that fit in what we were looking for. So 2 weeks is perfectly fine.
Awesome.
Awesome. All right, great. Then you will hear from Juliana. I would say probably no later than tomorrow, because I actually meet with the owner in about an hour about something unrelated. And I'm going to say, hey, I've got another recruiter that I'd like you to speak with. And then I'll ask him what his time is.
Great. Yeah, cool.
Awesome. So you also have mine and Juliana's emails through this meeting. Feel free, if you have any questions or anything comes up, feel free to shoot us an email. And we'd be happy to reply.
Awesome. See how good I am. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, bye.
Sorry, Lorraine. When we're all sitting in the same meeting room.
Yeah.
Good. When we're all sitting in the same meeting room and trying to conduct a meeting from each individual laptops, we usually echo and it gets crazy. But now they have this merging feature where you can merge audio, but it's not working appropriately. So as I had mentioned before, Juliana and I are excited to see you again today. Who we have in the room is Jonathan. He is our controller. And Matt, who is our digital marketing manager. And Isaac may pop in and make an appearance. I'm going to send him a note just as a reminder that we have the interview for right now. But, we've had an opportunity, Juliana and I, obviously, to ask some questions, but we want to leave give the floor to the gentleman and have them ask you some additional questions.
Awesome.
That sound good?
Yeah, sure. I'm excited about it.
All yours, boys.
Perfect. Awesome. So Matt and I weren't lucky enough to be on the first call. So Lorraine, why don't you just tell us a little bit about your background and what made you want to interview for this position that we have available?
Okay, cool. So I've got over 10 years of experience working in HR. During that time, I'm based in Kenya, by the way. So during that time, I have worked for 6 years at a local manufacturing company, and 4 years working remotely for global companies as well. Yeah. So during my 6 years working for the manufacturing company, I used to manage talent, end-to-end talent management, and we used, because it was a manufacturing firm, still is a manufacturing firm. I used to hire casuals, all the way to managers, so the managerial positions, including individual contributors. So basically end-to-end talent management. Stayed with them for 6 years, then later transitioned to, which is a remote design tech company as well, and I got in at as the HRBP and also DI specialist. I used to support a particular department for project managers. And so what that meant was I was involved in workforce planning, recruitment, performance management. Think of it like the HR manager for the project department. Yeah, so anything HR related, anything people related, they would consult with me first before we take any decisions. I've worked with them for about 2.5 years and then transitioned into Beyond the Savannah, which is a job search as a service company. And so yes, we do have people seeking, so talent seeking opportunities, but at the same time we also have employers or companies who are seeking to hire people. So it is both inbound and outbound, in that when employers do come, and sometimes they come with niche requests, sometimes they're forced to headhunt. So whether it is going to LinkedIn, or that is sourcing from other companies, or different Slack channels, we do what it takes to just get a good talent. And I'm really passionate about HR and talent management in general, because first, I believe that every single person has potential to be great at what it is that they're doing, and so being in such a position helps. I think for me is that if I'm able to identify good talent and place them and nurture them and see them achieve their potential, then I feel like I'm contributing to something greater than myself. So that's what I'm passionate about, HR and talent acquisition.
Very nice. So let's run through some questions here. Can you hear me? First off, can you hear me well enough?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, perfect. All right. So can you walk me through a time where you've had to proactively source a hard to find talent, whether it's specific talent pool or specific need? What tools and strategies did you use, and how did you measure your success with that?
Awesome. So very recently, actually, we've been hired. So a company came to BTS, and we were hiring for a front end engineer. Particularly, it was more to do with 3D modeling, so it was really niche, right? So, and we were given like 3 days to almost bring forward candidates. So what happened, because it was a really niche role, we didn't have such people on our talent pool. So then we had to headhunt. So that meant, first understanding from the hiring manager, and also because we had a meeting with them. So from the hiring manager, what are the keywords that they were looking for? What are the qualifications that they're looking for from this candidate? We had the job advert luckily ready. So it was us actively posting on our social media platforms, making noise about it and just publicizing it. But then also reaching out to similar candidates with the candidate profile on LinkedIn, and reaching out to them, sending them emails, sourcing their phone numbers, giving them a phone call, letting them know, we've got this opportunity, they're open to it. Yeah. And luckily we did find candidates and we were able to meet the time frame. It was such a hassle, but we're able to do so. And yeah, the company was able to hire a person within their budget as well. So for me, as a recruiter, how I look at the metrics is, in terms of recruitment, would be one, what is the cost to hire? So for us, for this particular role, we only had to source from LinkedIn, but sometimes, there would be agency costs, or if you're going through other job boards, then access to those job boards there would be a cost associated to that. Then there's also time to fill, right? So the time that it takes for us to actually get the candidate on board as well. and if we're able to meet the KPIs or the deadlines that the customer has given us, or the KPIs for that particular role. So those would be some of the key metrics that we'd look at.
Excellent. When a hiring manager gives you a vague or ever-evolving job description, how do you clarify their needs and ensure that you're aligned before you start sourcing candidates?
That's a really good question. I think I'd have to have a meeting with them first and identify why. So ask the question, why are they hiring for this role, right? What is the need? What are they looking to fill? And I think within the conversations, I will be able to pick out what the candidate profile that they're looking for. Now, if there was someone in that particular role, that is even better, because then you're able to kind of look at the KPIs, the existing KPIs, and come up with a better candidate profile to help with the vagueness. But all in all, I think a good meeting and trying to be as clear as possible in terms of what are the KPIs, what does it take to succeed in this role, what are the measurables that they're looking for, it's able to bring more clarity as to into developing the candidate profile.
Okay. And then if you have multiple roles open and requested from a manager, how do you prioritize managing multiple roles open at the same time within a fast-paced environment?
Okay. I think the first question that I would ask is not which is a priority, but I would like to understand in terms of high risk, low risk, which one is more urgent in terms of time to fill the role, right? Which one has more impact if it's not filled, right? Or if you do take some time to fill the role. Like I said yesterday, I love using project management tools. So also having that, so that I'm not able, just in case I do forget, right? I've got a tool that reminds me of my tasks, deadlines, and when I'm expected to meet something or deliver something. So that would be my approach. And I don't want to say set boundaries, but fast-paced environment, we adapt, and we got the job done.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
All right. So can you hear me well?
I can, Mark.
Okay, great. So as digital marketing manager, I'm like really into metrics. Pretty much what I do all day is try to optimize my metrics and try to figure out what's working, what's not working, and really that helps me kind of hone in on digital marketing to grow the business in that way. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about your recruiting metrics and what are you looking at on a day-to-day basis to optimize what you do as a recruiter. Mm-hmm. And so just run me through your KPIs, talk to me about how something's working, not working in terms of your metrics.
Okay. Aside from time to fill, we should then measure how effective our recruitment process is, and also cost of hire. Other metrics that I'd be looking at would be our recruitment funnel, right? So that would then measure. So for recruitment funnel, ideally, what I'm looking at is where we are finding a lot of dropouts in the recruitment process. So is it between interview stage to application stage to the interview stage, then interview stage to offer stage, and then between offer stage to acceptance. So what is the dropout rate that we have? And that also gives us a really good insight as to whether the process is efficient or not, right? And then I think another that I would be looking at should be source of hire. So because I kind of know a little bit about the company, and I know that it is a high demand, lower supply or limited supply kind of in talent, right? So the source of higher rate would be, I'd be looking at where we're getting, where are we closing in terms of our leads? So is it that we're getting more closes in terms of talent from the referrals? Is it that you're getting it from the job board? Is it from just us advertising? And then we are able to kind of double down onto what works. Yeah. Maybe one that I would also have a look at would be the diversity metrics. So looking at the diversity in terms of the workforce that we are attracting. If that is a key measure for the company, then that would also be like a really good measure or metrics to look at. Yeah.
So what would you say, like, on like maybe like think of like the best month you had recruiting, like describe what metrics led you to believe that that was the best month that you had. Like what metrics like help you determine that? Like I know, for example, in my business, like what I do, I know if I did 100 leads in a day, it was a really great day. Like what would be your kind of lead? You know, what would be your metric?
Okay. I think for any job advertised, right? If I'm able to get at least 20 applications, then to me that is a really good. So that is a good indicator that we are reaching the target market. And the other one would be the time taken to fill a role. So if the application, if the job advert isn't getting traction within the first 3 days, within the first 3 days, then we do need to change something. So either change where we're sourcing our candidates from or where we're placing the job advert, because that then impacts the time to fill. If you're not viewing or shortlisting on a rolling basis, then that then impacts the time to fill metrics. I think off the top of my mind, those are two things that I can come up with at the moment.
So you talked a lot about time to fill. I imagine like making sure that the process with the candidate is kind of a positive one during that, in order so they don't drop off.
Yeah.
Can you describe a situation where you kind of went above and beyond to ensure a positive client experience, even if the candidate wasn't hired?
Okay, cool. Remember I said I'm really passionate about HR and talent acquisition and talent management. So kind of I've made it a passion, in not just a passion, like my duty per se in life is to ensure that any person that comes through a company that I'm working for kind of leaves the recruitment process feeling valued, whether or not they land a job or not. Because my strongest belief is that at the end of the day, the people that go through our recruitment process or the people that go through the company are going to be ambassadors. So if someone has a negative experience, it's going to be a ripple effect, right? And that goes on to speaking to employer branding. And in the market that you're in, I would assume that you want people to be really excited about working for the company, and word of mouth is also really good. So what I do is that I make sure that there is open communication at any stage, and that I do leave the feedback loop open, and I do I do communicate to the candidate at any stage that they are at, right? So let's say someone has sent in their application and the deadline is going to be 2 days from now. And after the 2 days, if they are not shortlisted, then you do communicate to them that they were not shortlisted for the role, and you hope that they would apply to another role should they feel aligned, should it be aligned to them. So that is one. Two, if they proceed, if they're shortlisted, then you send them an invite, they come to the interview. Let's say they're not successful, then you also depending on, here's the tricky part about sending regrets, because you want to send regret emails after your talent or after you have onboarded a talent, because sometimes you might give an offer and it might be rejected, and you have already sent out what is called regrets to the second candidate, right? So you want to wait at least your top three, you would then send regrets, or rather your top two, you'd send regrets after the offer has been accepted. But for the others, you do send regrets immediately. Again, let them know it is not a no forever, it's just not now. And if it is possible, like should you have time, because some candidates do ask for feedback. If it is, when it is possible, you do give feedback on how they can improve, either on how they presented themselves, on why they were, or why they're not chosen, for that particular role. So, yeah, that is what I do, and just ensuring open communication, like I said, and feedback loop to be open. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have. You were.
Yeah.
Okay.
My first conversation. I did not have I just popped in the middle of the questions with Matt, but he didn't have the opportunity to stay, which is fine because we can make a decision without him. So we do have a few more interviews, right,
Okay.
for recruitment positions. We moved pretty quickly, just like we did interviewing yesterday, moving to second interview today. But I would anticipate give us the rest of the week to get to the other recruitment interviews, and you'll either hear from us end of day Friday, latest early Monday.
Awesome.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds really good and pretty fast as well. So yeah.
Yeah. So if you, again, like we said yesterday at the end of it, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Juliana and I.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciated, having the discussion with all four of you. Yeah. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you. Take care.
So I hope you enjoyed me being vulnerable and, showcasing myself in the most authentic way, interviewing for that particular role. Status update. I am yet to hear from the company. They want to get back to me on Friday. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to shoot them an email and let them know and, just do a little bit of follow up. And I did actually make a post on this, that sometimes even when you get rejections, right, you want to reach out to the recruiter and see if they can give you any valuable feedback. So I want to reach out to them and see what is the status of my hiring process. Where are we on this? But yeah, if you learned anything about this, do let me know in the comment section. I really want to get to hear what are your learnings. Did this make you feel more comfortable? Did this make you, kind of know what to expect in a remote interview? And this is for a US-based company, by the way. So yeah, I'm really curious to, read your comments and engage. So until next time, have a lovely one. Bye.